Then they set the rules so the old dudes can still get checks, but they on their way out while the young dudes run amok. This doesn't make sense to me. But it made 10 billion, so it don't have to make sense if it make dollars.
On today's Wind Up Wednesday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Franchize discuss the state of the NBA, NBA free agency, as well as WNBA news and notes. Welcome to today's show. The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner. Since it's Wednesday, we're still on the women's teams, and as I do the women's teams, I keep coming up with Wendy Richter and her partners, but I'm going to take Wendy this time. So he is the Joyce Grable to my Wendy Richter, because again, Wendy Richter was a big darn deal. The icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Franchize. And Coach, one, I'm worried about you. How you doing, man? Because you've been on assignment, and fans, that's a shoot. He's doing like 5,000 things. So how you doing today, man?
Doing well, thank you. Doing well. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So on today's Wind Up Wednesday episode of the Odd Coaches Podcast, we're going to talk about the state of the NBA. Commissioner Adam Silver broke down a lot of topics, and we're going to respond and react to it. We're going to talk about NBA free agency and, again, continue our season-long coverage of the WNBA. But, Coach, Adam Silver addressed a number of NBA topics recently, and we're just going to take them one by one. The first thing he addressed is the NBA age limit. So Commissioner Silver said he is hopeful that there will be a change in the NBA age limit in the next collective bargaining agreement. And fans, on my notes, I bolded collective bargaining agreement for my partner because so many people think it's an NCAA rule, and it's an NBA rule that's collectively bargained by the union and the league. But I hear all of this stuff about one and done in the NCAA, and that's one of the times that I'm like, it's not them. Okay, so I just had to make sure you knew that the league and the players are keeping young people out, not the NCAA. This isn't the first time they talked about changing this, though. Silver said changing the age limit will clearly be on the table in the upcoming collective bargaining talks, which have gotten underway between the league and the players' union, led by new executive director Tamika Tremaglio. If I'm not pronouncing correctly, I apologize. But again, the talks are in the early stages. And remember, the NBA changed its age limit from 18 to 19 in 2005 after a run of high school to NBA prospects that included Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bean Bryant, Tracy McGrady, in addition to LeBron James and Dwight Howard in the 10 years before that. So, Mike, what are your thoughts on the NBA age limit, man? What would you do?
I'd let it be like anything else. I hate the fact that there is one. Like, there's none in tennis. There's none in golf. There's none in equestrian. There's none in, like, baseball. So why the NBA? I don't like it at all. It just, to me, it shows how upset some people are to see certain people with money. And this goes back to the owners, because owners are the one who vote on this, right?
Owners and players. It's a CBA. It is collectively bargained.
So you go back. Well, the players are going to do whatever the owners want. I mean, that's how you make the money. So let's not say it's the players and owners. Let's say it's the owners, because the owners write the check. You go back to some incidents. One of the owners in the parking garage talking down to a player. The guy in the Clippers, his mindset. And if you think that he's the only owner that feels like that or talks like that or thinks like that, then you're sadly mistaken. So.
Well, there's three key bullet points I wanted to address with this before we moved on. One, in the CBA, there was, I don't know if it's still the case, it may not be the case, but the old heads want to keep their jobs, man. If you get younger, the old heads can't keep getting those checks. Okay. So that's one piece. Two, I'm a big fan of the multiple pathways. College is not for everyone, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it again. College is not for everyone, and that's okay. Education is its own reward. And if you want to delay formally going to a 4-year school or 2-year school or whatever, that's your choice. So if the G League is a better pathway and you have the skills to do it, fine. If overtime elite is a better pathway, fine. If going to college is a better pathway, fine. If you want to go overseas and do Australia or do one of the academies, that's fine. If you're old enough to die for your country, you're old enough to make the call of whether or not you want to play ball or not. So Dr.
Because you can
Adams,
do baseball, tennis, but not basketball.
yeah. So Dr. Adams is a fan of Universal 18. I think everything should happen at 18, and then it's called being an informed consumer, informed decision maker. And as the old commercial said, an educated consumer is our best customer. So keep learning. Okay, keep learning. So the next thing he talked about, Adam Silver, was the transition take foul penalty. So fans of the show who don't know, if there's about to be a fast break, defense takes foul, stops all momentum, ball on the side, keep playing. Okay. The NBA has completed the process of changing the transition take foul rule, ending years of discussion about what to do with this long maligned rule. Tactic, I should say. It's not a rule, it's a tactic. The League Board of Governors finalized the matter, approving a plan to award one free throw when the teams are disadvantaged to take the foul. The take foul in which the defender does not make a play on the ball is what the league classifies as one that occurs either during a transition scoring opportunity or immediately after a change of possession. The new penalty for a foul is one free throw, which may be attempted by any player on the offended team. What do you think about that, man? Because it takes me back to hoop group, man. Just put the point up, keep moving. But what do you think, sir?
Yeah, it's something. I'm not sure what the goal is. Most rules have a goal. I'm trying to think what the goal for this is.
Well, a lot of the European players brought that in when they came, where they just take the foul and put the ball on the side, or you got the ball stolen and you just foul them immediately. And I guess they're trying to take that out of the game.
Okay, but isn't that part of basketball? That's called smart basketball, isn't it? Not giving up the layup, not giving up the bucket.
And if it's a kid or a player that you ain't worried about fouling out, it's even better. But
take one of them.
It appears they care and they're doing something about it. So we're going to move on to revenue. All right. The NBA is coming off a massive financial year with revenue topping, wait for it, $10 billion for the first time, and basketball related income reached $8.9 billion, another record. Adam Silver said the numbers are particularly strong considering the league is still dealing with the pandemic. But women are flying, coach. But I digress. What do you think about these numbers?
Stop.
W had no money.
Yeah, well, they got it. They did it. But I think part of it is because they played through COVID. They made it work when they did the bubble. I think that kept the league fresh in everybody's mind. Everybody saw they can do business from a business standpoint. I can still get my advertising. I can still get everything. So if I'm a business owner, I want to be in the business with NBA because they seem to find a way to get it done. Thus, revenue increases. People will stay attached.
All right. Kevin Durant. Now, you and I have talked about this over the course of our existence in terms of when the next CBA comes up. There's going to be a lot of conversations, and right now it just happens to be about Kevin Durant, but there's going to be a lot of conversations that take place, and I'm curious to see how tight the players are going to be. But Kevin Durant is under contract for 4 more years with the Brooklyn Nets, Mike. And his trade request is one of the biggest stories of the offseason. Adam Silver just doesn't enjoy this. This needs to be a two-way street, he said. Teams provide enormous security and guarantees for players, and the expectation is that is returned by the players. So I got to think they're going to have something in the CBA about it. But my thoughts before you chime in, Coach, is Brooklyn doesn't have to trade him. I mean, he's under contract. So if they trade him, that's on them. That's not on me. All right, but I definitely want to tag you in. What are your thoughts about Kevin Durant? All of this player trading, and not voiding contracts, but adjusting contracts, and I think it's going to be addressed in CBA. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, it's something, and I think potential uh, Andre Ayton and Kevin Durant trade, that thing is off the table now with Phoenix signing Ayton, matching the Indiana Pacers offer. So that's off the table. There's going to have to be some changes made because right now it's just all willy nilly, and somebody has to be able to step up and make. Well, it's time to reset. Let's get back to where it's structured differently. I think it's too much going on. To be honest with you, it's like 1 week I'm here, next week I'm gone. I'm gonna build a super team. There's that term again, and then next thing you know, you're gone after 1 season, 2 seasons. It's not. It doesn't make sense. It does. It's
Yeah.
not good for the game if you ask me. Just
Well, as I told you, the Harden piece, when that happened with the Houston trade, I said, oh, wait till the next season. I think we were talking about the Harden, Houston situation. And I said, Mike, when's the next CBA come up? And then we found out that it's about to come up. And I'm like,
yeah, it's
ooh,
coming.
okay. Well, let's see how tight you are now. Because these old heads, the LeBrons and the Chris Pauls, they're all about to leave. And the young people coming in, and man, they talk mad crap. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but should be interesting. Should be
But
interesting.
then they set the rules so the old dudes can still get checks, but they on their way out while the young dudes run amok. This doesn't make sense to me. But it made 10 billion, so it don't have to make sense if it make dollars.
10 billion with a B. All right, the play-in tournament. I actually like the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament has generally been considered a success. So it's not a shock that the league wants to keep it around. The play-in tournament in its current form has been used each of the past 2 seasons, with the teams that finish 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stop it. In the East and West determine the final 2 playoff spots. The number 17 plays number 18, with the winner clinching the 7th seed. So you win one game and now you're the 7th seed. And then the number 9 team plays the number 10 team, with the loser eliminated and the winner moving on to play 7 and 8. And then that's how we get the 8th seed. And it has been a hit. Got a little March Madness feel. And remember, the Timberwolves was crying and everybody was excited and making fun of them at the same time. So it looks like the play-in tournament is here to stay. Mike, are you a fan of the play-in tournament?
It wasn't the one boy Pat Beverly was jumping
Yep.
up on the young man Pat Beverly jumping up on the stanchion. He happy, and then 1, 2, 3 Maui. So it is what it is. I don't like the play-in tournament. I think your season should matter more than what they saw. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't spit your water out, but I don't. I don't want that. I don't like that. I just don't like the play-in tournament. Like winners
So,
be recognized. I don't like play-in tournament.
Mike, it keeps people engaged in the season, similar to baseball. It also de-emphasized tanking. So now a team like the Wizards, still have a chance to play for the postseason, and they can get into the tournament, and then whatever happens.
So before the play-in tournament, they didn't have a chance to get in the postseason.
They have an extended chance. How
I
about
don't want to
that?
hear that.
Put my
Extended
admin hat on. You want to give kids the opportunity.
Evaluate and get the best talent you can. Stop trying to be mediocre or play for second best. Keep saying second place is the first loser. If I don't put my best foot forward, I don't deserve to be in the playoffs. It's that simple all year long. So stop paying these guys contracts to sit out. Stop going and getting the same old guys. Stop trying to be mom and pop and go get players and make it happen.
Well, what a wonderful segue into load management. Load management, fans, is a term given now when a player gets to sit out a game to rest, and it has been challenge. It's been a challenge for the league in recent years. And Adam Silver says it will continue to be discussed with the Players Association as the sides get more into negotiations for the next collective bargaining agreement. The league has taken steps driven by sleep science and other data, which goes after my heart, to try to make the schedule more player friendly in recent years. The stretches of 4 games and 5 nights have been eliminated, which is a good thing. The instances of back-to-back games have dropped, and the league has even tinkered with keeping teams in the same road city for consecutive games in an effort to limit travel. That said, sometimes a player still sits. Silver suggested that it might be time to consider adding money as an incentive for playing more often. Mike, what are you thinking about load management and the commissioner's comments? Pay them more
To
so
do
they don't
their
play
job.
more.
So you're going to pay me more to do the job you already pay me for.
Yes.
Sign me up.
Well, again,
Sign me up.
sleep studies, the sleep piece is true. And to prolong your career, playing less has been a benefit for a lot of players in terms of getting multiple bites at the apple. I can't tell you how many games Kyrie played the last few years, but I know it's not 82. So
I'm not even.
now, what if I told you, and
That's a
this may come
bad
up
example.
this may come up in the CBA, is for you to be qualified for all NBA, all this, all that, you have to play a certain percentage of games. Would you have a problem with that? Because I don't have a problem with that.
I would
Having a
say that.
baseline.
Give me 75% of the games, and then 75-80% of your games, you get 100% of your contract.
So 82 games, and I'm not talking about the contract itself, but if you want to be all NBA, which then ties into the contract, you got to play to qualify for these postseason awards.
Yes.
You got to play 65 games out of 82 or whatever the arbitrary number that'll come up.
60.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
All right, and the last thing, and thank you NBA, because you can find money for this, which you should, but you can't find money for other things. ABA payments. The NBA and the NBAPA announced a new program that's jointly funded to provide payments to approximately 115 ABA players who played at least 3 seasons but didn't qualify for NBA pensions. So I am very happy that the league has done that. Adam Silver said the league and the players felt a need to act on behalf of these former players who are aging and in many cases face difficult economic circumstances. They'll get recognition payments of close to $4,000 per year of service. So what do you think about that, Mike? As again, good job. WNBA's flying coach. What do you think?
So they're going to pay him $4,000 for a whole week. For it'd be $12,000 if it's 3 years, right?
It's for
and they're going to
each
spread
year.
that
That's
out
about three something a month, which will help with some bills. It'll help with the phone bill.
So about
whatever.
1,000. Okay.
All right.
So $1,000, $3,000
per year service. So if you played 5,
and
6
that's going to be
years,
continual.
Yeah. Yes.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that idea. And let's not say that. I know we keep talking about the WNBA, but it's not the NBA's fault that the WNBA is not working. Can we clear that up?
It is not that the WNBA is not working. It's called an investment.
Okay, but don't blame the NBA for that. But
investment.
So the NBA, it was flailing till 1979, correct?
The NBA, yes.
So how many years was it alive before it took off?
it took some time, and it took a
Okay.
kid from
Okay.
French Lick, Indiana, and
Okay.
East Lansing, Michigan,
Then
to
the
get some
WNBA need to
assistance.
find a Larry Bird then or something, or Lorena Bird, whatever.
All right. So on that note, when you're saying Labrina word, it's time to
Mm.
break for commercial. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CKA Save Project's academic monitoring service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we're talking about NBA free agency. And now my partner has his GM hat on. So let's get to it. Would you match it? The Phoenix Suns matched the Indiana Pacers' 4-year, $133 million offer sheet to DeAndre Ayton, clearing the way for him to return to Phoenix after some contentiousness throughout the year. The Suns immediately, as soon as they had the opportunity, matched it. And let me tell you a little bit about Ayton before you let me know if you would have matched it. He was all rookie in 2019, developed into a quality star at the center, averaged 16 and 10, anchored the defense, averaged 17 and 10 last year, and he shot 64%, 63% from the field, 74% from the line. You matching the deal?
I'm a little upset. I'm matching it for him, but I'm upset they didn't offer him a deal at first. If I'm him, that's going to be hard to repair. If you didn't think that enough of me, then I don't know if I should even be here or not. Because you look around and see the landscape of the league the last couple of years, my stats, where we've been, our winning percentage with me on the floor, and then you have to make someone else threaten to pay me for you to pay me? Nah, the hell with you.
So you're a little salty if you're Ayton.
I am. If I'm Ayton, I'm damn right I'm salty. Why you not going to pay me? Why I got to get somebody else to show you my worth when I'm in your arena all the time?
Well, the poet Michael Joseph Jackson once said, "When I had you to myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always make you stand out in the crowd. Then someone picked you from the bunch. One glance was all it took." This time it wasn't too late for them to take a second look, though. So maybe now the relationship could be better because he's valued.
Shit, it could never be better.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on. How much would you pay for a spider? After Utah shut down earlier inquiries about Donovan Spider Mitchell, rival teams are saying the Jazz are now willing to listen. The asking price appears to be steep because they fleeced somebody for Rudy Gobert. What do you think, man? How much would you pay for a spider?
I'd have to go straight across and see what it is. I'm not sure about, man. I don't know if it really makes your team better, in my opinion. So,
word out there is that the New York Knicks are interested in pairing him with Jalen Brunson.
What is it? That name came up again. Okay. All right. That'll be a good move. The two of them together, I can see them playing together. They're both very smart basketball players. Guys play very hard. Definitely. That's kind of New York guys, I would say.
Yeah, well, I'm a little sad because Utah will be totally irrelevant.
Oh, God. They are relevant already.
I think the streak of playoff berths may be in
jeopardy. Yeah, playoff berths. What about the streak of championships?
Moving on. This team is quietly getting better. And yes, I am needling my partner because he gave me a needle last week about the Denver Nuggets. So the Denver Nuggets signed guard Contavious Caldwell Pope to a 2-year extension. 2 years, $30 million. It starts in 23-24 and includes a player option. Caldwell Pope entered the final year of his contract, which will pay $14 million, and now it'll push his career earnings to $120 million. Now he's 29 now, and he arrived to the Nuggets in a trade with the Washington Wizards, and he's expected to be a key 3-and-D guy. And you got him with Jokic, the 2-time MVP, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. And now look at this. He's got a skill. This guy shot 44.8% on open threes last year, which ranked him in the top 10. So we think about the Nuggets, man. Nuggets are not a play-in team anymore, baby. They're going to be one of the top 6, getting in the mix.
And out in the first round. Top 6 and out in the first round.
I really dislike you, man.
They'll be number 6. They're going to be number 6. Mark it down. Timestamp it. They're going to be number 6. They're going to be out in the first round.
They got the 2-time MVP. How they going to be just one round in the playoff when they twice got the title?
All that. Yeah, sure.
Project Denver.
Oh, wow. No. No,
early. We're a little early for that.
Project Denver. No,
a little early for that. Okay. Finally, in this segment, fans, does this move make a difference? Free agent guard Austin Rivers has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves, so he joins Rudy Gobert, Cat, and Anthony Edwards. I think it's Anthony. Well, anyway. So Anthony now. Edwards. T-Wolves got a 5 now, man. What do you think? T-Wolves, top 6? Top 5?
You think that puts them over?
I said, does this move make a difference?
Shit.
So it don't make no difference.
He can shoot. I think he'll be okay. Plus, he plays hard. I love the way he plays. He play hard. He's got a chip on his shoulder every fucking night. He's trying to make y'all understand he is not his brother. He's coming at you. So it was a good deal.
Okay. All right.
It's a good pickup. Good pickup.
See, as we get closer to the league and watching Summer League, man, you're going to have a turnover because we haven't talked about the Lakers and we haven't talked about the Clippers. And top 6 are guaranteed a spot. And then 7, 8, 9, 10 play-in game. Should be fun. We'll
play acronym PIG. Yeah, you're right. PIG.
All right, fans. We'll be back on the other side of this break with the WNBA. And what was that trophy, man? What was that? We'll be right back.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fallon Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the iCoaches podcast. And in segment 3, we're going to talk all things WNBA. WNBA top 5 according to the OCP. The Chicago Sky 1, the Las Vegas Aces 2, Seattle Storm 3, The Connecticut Sun 4, and the Mystics, who are irritated and pissed off, are 5. And on
Oof.
the outside looking in, the Sparks, the Dream, the Liberty, and the Wings. So as we move to the second half of the season, uh, I think the Mystics are a little irritated that they've been passed over. So we got games of the week. Friday, July 22nd, Seattle versus Phoenix. Saturday, July 23rd, the Los Angeles Sparks versus the Las Vegas Aces. And Sunday, Dallas versus Minnesota. So we do have our stories of the week. And yes, there is a BG update. There's a Brittany Griner update. I don't know how my partner is going to take this. But LeBron James
Uh-oh.
questioned why Brittany Griner would want to return to a country that has taken so much time to aid in the resolution of her situation. LeBron says, and I quote, "Now, how can she feel like America has her back?" In a trailer for the latest episode of his talk show, The Shop, which airs on YouTube, "I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America?" LeBron later retweeted, quickly I might add, that his comments were no disrespect to our beautiful country, and that he was stating how Griner was probably feeling. Any thoughts on LBJ joining in the Brittany Griner debate?
I understand where he's coming from, but that might have been overstepping by him. And I'm a LeBron fan, but I think maybe he just misspoke or said it wrong. I can understand where he's coming from. Does she feel the support of her country? Does she feel the support of those? But I'm sorry, I gotta ask though. Like, her country didn't make her carry the weed. All right, that's not. She's not transporting drugs for the country. So you mad at the country? Like, at the end of the day, if it was me, y'all wouldn't even know about it. This people been over there for 3 years. We ain't even heard about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
Well, in terms of the weed in America, she was able to use it, if I'm not mistaken, as a painkiller. But she's not in America; she's in Russia. And National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said last week that former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson has been in contact with the National Security Council, but wouldn't comment on his travel or what he intends to do. But Richardson does plan to travel to Russia and work on Griner's release. Historically speaking, that's how it's done. And Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico, is highly respected in foreign policy. But again, not everybody every day is reading about foreign policy and all of that. So in my eyes, things are being done, but it's not in the microwave sense that most people deal with the world today.
Yeah,
So
it's just it's slow process that they're doing. That's all. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
this is not a shut up and dribble moment for
No,
LeBron, but
no.
you need to know what you're saying, sir. And you came out of the pocket wrong on that one. And yeah, you quickly kicked the rewind and said, "My bad. Whoops. I was just a little too comfortable in the shop."
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I got to get this off my chest. The All-Star game recap. Loved the game. Enjoyed the game. Whatever. Kelsey Plum got a trophy that my child wouldn't even get. Okay. And fans, real talk, because Mike's my friend. You guys know that. I text my friend a picture and said, "What's this?" And Mike said, "What is that? The Wimbledon trophy?" I was like, "Mike, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, wait, that's what they gave the MVP? Oh, that's not good." So, Mike, what was that trophy? What are we doing, man?
I'm not sure, and I couldn't. I don't know. Maybe it's made out of like crystal or something. I don't know. It's a very expensive trophy. It didn't look like it. It looked like it was just something that's like, oh shit, we forgot to get a trophy. What can we get? And then like they ordered that joint in a week. That's what it looked like to me.
That broke my heart, man. But this has not broken my heart. A change is a coming. So the WNBA will use chartered flights for all its league final games this year. They will increase the bonus pool money for the playoffs. And in the 2023 season, they will move to 40 games. Any thoughts on any of those changes that are coming to the WNBA, sir?
I think it's good and increasing the amount of games. When they going to fit it in? Are they going to start it earlier? They're going to play another night? And is this extended season a way to pay for first class flights? Like, is the revenue generator? Are they going to use the revenue generator from the expanded season for them to finally get treated properly? That's the question. So, in a sense, do they make any more money, or no? This is just to cover expenses. You know what I'm saying? Like, is a longer season going to add to their contract?
Well, I'm going to tell you now, Becky Hammon came out of the box and said there's things she like to change about the league, and she has a unique perspective because she's worked in the WNBA and the NBA. And that's the first thing she said. They got to address this travel thing. Okay. There's some, and this is Becky Hammon's quotes. There's some things I've seen just coming over from the NBA side, and I'd like to have them changed immediately. She said in a press conference before the WNBA All-Star game. She said, obviously these things are not, doable overnight. I'm sure we'll be having some phone calls, but travel is chief among her concerns, and that's just, something that just has to be addressed sooner rather than later. The Aces owner who hired her, Mark Davis, from the NFL Las Vegas Raiders, said, WNBA players don't need to be on commercial flights. And remember, the New York Liberty owner, Joe Tsai, got like fined $500,000 because of that. So again, that they have people who want to jump in and help out with this. It's just a case of, will you let them? Because that's not good, man. Any final thoughts on WNBA this week? Did you see a game or anything? Because again, fans, we're not joking. Mike's on assignment, so
yeah, I saw the Storm. The Storm going to be the Storm, so they're pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, next week for our WNBA segment, we are going to do a post-midseason report and really start narrowing down playoff type matchups because we're getting there. I think the championship is probably in like a few weeks. Playoffs start in a few weeks actually. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I am Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, and we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchize, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.